Hi, I'm Justin Smith, and you're on the record with the News Reporter. Our guest today is Whiteville City Schools Superintendent, Dr. Jonathan Williams. Dr. Williams, thank you for being here.
It's good to be here. Thank you for having me.
So we were just talking off mic. This is your third year as Superintendent of Whiteville City Schools, but your 36th year in the school education profession, right?
Yes, sir. I've had a good career. I've been blessed with working and being able to stay right here in my home community, so to speak. But this is my 36th year total, third year superintendent of Whiteville, as you said, and I've enjoyed each and every year.
So we're a few weeks into the school year now. Do you have any specific goals for Whiteville City Schools this school year? Or another way of putting that is, what do you want your educators to be focused on this school year?
You know, and when I go around to the schools, when I travel around a little bit, it's always our goal, when you hear it said a lot, to be the best district in our region and be the best in the state. And that is truly it. Our students deserve the very best that we can give them. We understand that our best today might not be the best tomorrow. So each and every day we're to give it our all. And we want our district to be on the map. And Whiteville City Schools has enjoyed a rich tradition, not only in this particular area, but across the state, and we just want to build on that.
So you talked about, comparing Whiteville City Schools maybe to some other districts. So 2 weeks ago, the state came out with their school report cards. They assign a grade to every school in the state. And so Whiteville City Schools, all of the 4 traditional schools received C's for the 24-25 school year, which was the same that they had received the year before.
Right.
Now, to put that in context, the Columbus County schools had, I think it was 5 schools that earned D's last year. So, not to call anybody out, that's not the point, but it's that, C's are relatively good. What do you make of that, of those performance grades, and how would we be able to change those, you think?
There is a debate going on in the state now to change the grading system of the schools. I'm, for one, am in support of revamping that system. Sometimes we assign a school a grade and it might look on the downside, hey, we might have a C or we might have a D, but there's more to it. I mean, look at is this school growing? Is it growing within that range? And that's what I look. My minimum expectation is that a school would meet expected growth for that year. And 2 out of our 3 schools that were tested this year did just that. But the fact is, we did have no low performing schools. We're definitely not a low performing district. Our scores remain at the top of our region, and we still have a ways to go, though. We want to be number 1 in our region, as I said earlier, and we want to build on the successes we have. There's a lot of indicators that go into a school grade. That school grade may not be a true indication of how well that particular school is performing. But all that said, I am very proud of the success that we had. We had some schools that improved in their performance grade. We had a school that did drop a couple of points, but like I said, there's many indicators. We will continue to dig down in the data and see where we're at, and look at setting some goals to improve what we need to improve on. But overall, I'm very satisfied with the progress that we had this past year and years prior.
So when you kind of drill down a little bit, are there certain aspects of teaching or curriculum that Whiteville City Schools is trying to focus on, trying to improve? Is it, for instance, is it reading? Is it math? Are there certain instructional techniques that y'all are really emphasizing now?
Each and every day I walk into a school building, and it boils down to quality teaching and learning. We have a lot of technology in our schools now, almost too much. And I say that because I really like to focus on the day-to-day interaction and relationship between the teacher and the student. You know, as much as we can get in small group or in large group, whatever the setting may be. We do have some wonderful group of interventionists that we're sometimes able to hire, if funding allows, that comes in and work with particular groups of students who need that extra push. But yeah, that's what we look for. And I try to talk to our district office people about, you know, the things that we're seeing in there, but it boils down to the very, very simple concept of quality teaching and learning, and it comes in various forms.
So you mentioned technology, and you know, it's one thing for the school system to have technology that they want there. It's another thing in recent years for kids to have cell phones or other devices that are really a distraction. And so we know that the Whiteville City Schools Board of Education revised the policy to essentially ban students bringing their own devices during the school day. Is that a pretty accurate summary of what that was? And you know, we did some reporting on that when that policy was put in place, and one of the things that we have you quoted as saying is, look, we're going to need community support, we're going to need buy-in. And so here we are a few weeks into this new policy. Would you say that the schools have the buy-in from the parents, or is it still a challenge to try to enforce this new policy?
I think we have the buy-in. I have not received any negative calls toward what we're trying to do. I think community and parents understand that we're just trying to eliminate the distractions as much as possible to increase the quality of instruction that we have. I did some research, and I called schools that were using the storage devices, the yonder pouches. I called districts that were going just for a total ban on the cell phones in the school building, which is what we did. And basically our policy says if we see them, we're going to take them. They may have them on their person somewhere in the book bag, even in their pockets. You know, that's fine. Some school districts allow students to use the cell phones during transitions, during lunch periods. We decided to just go with a total ban. I'll tell you, the staff, as I traveled around, some of the staff members were saying they were just amazed at the students going back to simple things like talking to one another during lunch. The interaction during lunch periods was actually refreshing again. It has been received well, to my knowledge. We have had to take a few cell phones, and the first time we take them, you know, we may give them back to the student. At the end of the day, we may call the parent, but overall, I would say it's successful, and we'll know more, you know, as the year goes on.
Yeah, we did some reporting during the first week of school about bus driver vacancies, and I think at that time 4 of the 13 positions were vacant. Have you been able to make any progress in getting those filled, and what type of impact is it having on the students?
Well, that is our main goal right now, is to get our buses fully staffed. We're not there yet. We've picked up one part-time position. We thought we had a full-time until the person decided to go another route. There is a bus class coming in October, and I'm understanding there is a large number of people that have signed up for the class. One of the problems is when someone decides to take a class, say I decided today, I started my class today, it's a 3-day class. At a minimum, it will be a month before I will be on the road, because, you know, you have to take the class and, you know, pass the test and everything, but there's a waiting period before they can drive, and then before they can get their pocket card and follow the process till we can actually get them approved to become a bus driver. So the process is long, but I am encouraged by the numbers that we have that will potentially be in this bus class if we begin October 8th, and I do want to plug that because that, I think it's the 8th, it might be the 7th, but anyway, It is during that week, but we have it announced everywhere. But so if anyone is interested in some good part-time work, I will say our Board of Education late last year stepped up to the plate, increased the bus driver pay. Now our bus drivers start at $20 an hour, which is a pretty good pay. I don't know about comparison with other districts, but I'm sure it's among the highest. And that's a minimum. We have bus drivers that might make close to $25 an hour depending on their experience. But we do need drivers, and that is our main goal right now, is to fully staff. It is impacting our students. We do have some students who may be arriving to school late. We may have students who are having to wait at school until a bus can run a route and come back and pick them up. So it's not an ideal thing, but so far, we have not done, and if you look across the state, it is a statewide issue. And I get notices on my phone. Some districts are just announcing that a bus will not run that particular day. And so far, we haven't had to do that because that does create a big hardship on families. Folks have been very supportive. They understand the problems we're having. We're trying very, very hard to get the drivers we need.
What do you think is the main challenge in trying to recruit those drivers? Because you mentioned pay, and in Whiteville City, like you said, increased the pay to $20 an hour. So are there other factors other than pay that you think are hurdles?
I like to think our students behave well on the bus. We really support the drivers we have. So sometimes you might hear, "Hey, I don't want to transport a bus full of children." I mean, you know, but I mean, it's a pretty good thing. It's great part-time work, but one thing, it is confining. I mean, they have to be there at a certain time of the morning and then that afternoon. So it is a confining thing, a job. But I will say this: it is perfect for residual income, or for someone that might be retired, or even someone who just wants that part-time work. They can, you know, drive the bus for the morning, do some business or do things during the day, and then drive the afternoon. So I think it's a good thing. So to tell you the truth, those just a part of it being the confinement of it, that would be the only thing I know of. But as problems arise, we will support our drivers and try to help them be successful at that job too. One of the most important jobs we have. We don't get them to school, we can't educate them.
So I'm interested in your insight into being superintendent of Whiteville City Schools, because you have a really unique position, having worked for so many years with Columbus County Schools. And Whiteville City, of course, is one of the smaller school systems in the state. You know, there are some other city school systems, but it's fairly rare. And you know, there's been talk over the years about, well, does Columbus County need two school systems? And I'm just curious about your thoughts, you know, about what role does a city school system serve these days? What are some of the advantages, and do you think that we need to have city school systems like this?
I'm totally satisfied with the current system. We have, you know, studies were done, and the studies proved that it would actually take more money out of our local economy if the systems were merged. I support the way it is. I am very beholden to some wonderful, wonderful people and educators in Columbus County, because I did work there 33 years. But you know, 3 years ago I was blessed, and I do mean blessed. I think it's been a wonderful thing for me, the career opportunity to come to Whiteville City. I've really enjoyed it. Everyone has been so good to me, and I'm talking to me personally. They've been supportive. Everyone, you know, I was speaking to someone in the community just this past week. Sometimes we may have differences, but we can always be united in the fact that we want what's best for our local school. And everyone in the area is very supportive of all of our schools in the district here, and it has been a very good thing for me, and I feel so blessed to become part of the Whiteville City School system in the last 3 years.
Do you think that having such a small school system, what are the advantages of that? Is it you, for instance, being able to really know individual teachers and kind of know what's going on the campuses more, or maybe to know more of the parents who are involved? How is it different from maybe a larger school system, you think?
Well, even the thing about, and once again, I go back to my personal experiences, even though, you know, this is only my 3rd year in the system, I grew up here. I worked in town. From down the road, Williams Township, wonderful community. But, you know, I worked in a business here in town, J.S. Mann's, and everyone then they were so supportive of this school, of Whiteville High School and of the feeder schools. That is the benefit there, being small. I know of several of our schools, but one in particular, Central Middle. Last year we hired all of our teachers, just about we hired, had gone to school in the Whiteville system. So they're coming back for the most part. And that says a lot when people want to come back to their community. And hopefully, you know, that, you know, as we grow and as we build industry, more of that will happen in our industrial settings. But to see people come back and want to teach and want to come back and be part of the Whiteville High School, Whiteville City Schools family is really good. But the small atmosphere, the community support has been very, very beneficial, and I think that's played out over the years. I mean, our city system is really recognized across the state, and we're proud of what we've done, and we're going to continue to get better.
Let's talk about facilities for a minute. So, you know, several years ago, across the county, there were several projects sort of going on or being planned at the same time.
Yeah.
In the county school side, you were very involved with West Columbus School, with Tabor City School. At that same time, the new Whiteville High School building was being planned and constructed. All of that's a reality now. So we know in the county schools, they're planning a new school in Bolton. If someone were to come to you and say, Dr. Williams, here's X number of millions of dollars, what would you say is the priority for Whiteville City Schools in terms of what would be next on your list for a major either renovation or construction project?
I think we need, Did
I put you on the spot?
No, you didn't put me on the spot. I'm thinking in my mind now, how many million do we have?
Yeah, exactly.
Do we have, because the school on the eastern end of the county is projected to be near $60 million. So I was thinking about, you know, several things run through my mind. I mean, our total capital budget in the Whiteville City system is close to $1 million. Well, we did 2 roof jobs this summer that will take close to half that much. So things are tremendously expensive. But if I had, just say that it was unlimited, I say unlimited, just a lot of money, I would, obviously, my mind goes to security upgrades. All of our schools need security upgrades, and that would cost major dollars. We're doing a lot of small things. We're doing a lot of things I'd really rather not discuss as far as infrastructure and things to upgrade security. Just safety is number one. When I get up in the morning, you know, what are we doing to protect our students? And that keeps all administrators awake at night.
Yeah. Well, and to that point, and again, I understand, you know, we certainly don't want to compromise security, but on a basic level, you know, now these new schools are built and they're pretty much one building, it seems like, and that controls the entry and the exit.
Exactly.
But you look at our campuses, these older campuses, and there are numerous buildings on a campus. Is that a challenge? Would there be maybe an effort to try to combine some of those buildings or something like that?
It is a major challenge. Back when all districts did that, they were, they might get pots of money here, pots of money there. Instead of completely rebuilding, they had to add a pod building, or they had to build on. Whiteville Primary is a good example. During the first year, I would say I get lost on the campus because the buildings or the way the layout is. But sometimes that occurred everywhere. I don't see a way where you can, combine those other than, maybe look at fencing. And I hate, but the day is coming when that might be something that has to be a priority. Fencing, one way in, one way out kind of thing. But you asked me some of the other projects. We need a track at Whiteville High School, out at Legion. That would probably run around $750,000. The one we have needs to be milled out and replaced. And so we need, there was some things that were, and that, for lack of a better term, removed at Whiteville High School that maybe we need to, if we ever got more money, we need to put in. We're currently working on some new parking at Whiteville High School. When we have, during the day it's okay, but it is tight. But when we have events, parking is tough. So we're trying to work on a small parking lot out there. Each school has some needs that we would need to address if we had a good pot of money coming in.
Yeah.
And you never know. The lottery's open every year as we build and things come up. As we build on our needs, if we find other things we need, we can always apply for that lottery money.
So my last question, I want to ask you if there are any misconceptions either about Whiteville City Schools or just about education in general that you would like to clear up. Meaning, when you're out in the community and you're talking with community members and maybe they weigh in on education, is there something that people just they get wrong, they don't understand, or maybe the view is really outdated?
I don't know. I know sometimes, and a lot of it goes back to funding. When we talk about funding, folks say, where's the lottery money? I mentioned lottery before, but where's the lottery money? And just lottery monies were put in place to handle things like school construction, but now lottery is a major, and it's practically all the funding for pre-K programs. Now people may not realize that. The lottery monies were taken and created these needs-based grants that allowed Whiteville City and Columbus County to build the buildings that they have, so we could apply for one big pot of money that we normally wouldn't get. Once again, our lottery funding at Whiteville City may be, each year we might get $75,000 to $100,000. Well, that will not even fix a roof on a building. So a lot of times people say, well, hey, where's the lottery? And it's just not there. A lot of folks may not understand position allotments. Sometimes, we have to cut positions based on ADM. Right now, we're down.
And ADM is average daily membership, right?
Average daily
membership. Okay,
membership.
It's enrollment, basically.
It's enrollment.
Okay.
It's student enrollment. And right now, we are down about 70 students, but they are slowly coming in. But it may not affect our allotments this year. It will affect them next year. So, and students' allotment is tied to funding. Now we get, with state and federal funding now, we may get somewhere between $12,000 and $13,000 per student. So if you do the math, if you're down, 70 students, that could be a big cut in monies next year. But those are things that the intricate details that people may not understand. I will say, and I will repeat, that this community has been tremendously supportive of this school and school system for the overwhelming part. I do want to folks to know that if they have a concern out there, they're always welcome to come to the office. I know our doors are always open. I never turn anyone away. If they come and they have an issue they want to discuss with me or with our staff, we don't turn people away because people have concerns out there. We are dealing with the most precious commodity we have, our children. And we realize that. We take that job very seriously.
Dr. Jonathan Williams is Superintendent of Whiteville City Schools. Thank you for being here. We covered a lot of ground, but of course there's a lot more to cover, so we hope you'll come back sometime.
Absolutely.
All right,
My
well, thank
pleasure.
you. Thank
My
you.
pleasure.
And thank you for tuning in. And you can watch previous episodes of On the Record on our website right now. That is nrcolumbus.com.